I am Emmanuel from Code with Emma. In this tutorial, you will learn how to build a fully responsive hamburger menu and rotating project boxes using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Stick around until the end and you'll be able to create your own just like this. Now, the nav look normally on the desktop screen. So let me try to reduce the size to mobile size. Now, can you see the hamburger shows? This is the hamburger, the red lines, 3 lines is the hamburger. Let me try to click on the hamburger. Can you see? That is the work of the hamburger. The menu collapses into hamburger icon, and let me try to click on the project box. It rotates 3 degrees as well. Second, my project is also rotates. Now let me resize it. Now this is it. Change back to the hamburger. This is hamburger. Now I've changed it back to the desktop. It is now in the desktop size. By the end of this video, you will be able to learn how to build your own website using Hamburger. You'll be able to know how to do it yourself. Just make sure you like this video and subscribe so you won't miss the next video. Thanks. Now let's get started. Now we'll start by creating the layer called container. So the container we have nav. Inside the nav you have UL, another. Now for our list, inside the list you have anchor tag. This will be our home. I will duplicate this 3 times. Let's call this our service. My about. That is now. I will create my hamburger, calling the div hamburger. Span. Each span will consist of 1 lines. Under the nav. So that is another list. I will have a div called nav links. This will contain our home, about, and service. That our nav. We have my h2 project boxes. We have a div called projects box. Set our button h3, my first project. Duplicate this times. Second project. My third project. Alright, before we start styling it or adding any interactive, let's take a look at our websites. So basic structure. At the top, you have a container which contains everything. So at the top, we have our nav, and this is our nav. We have a links that holds the home, about, and services. So inside the nav, we also have hamburger. Below that, we have three project boxes, which are my first project, my second project, and my third project. So nothing's clickable. The hamburger menu won't work and the project boxes don't rotate. So this is the starting points, and by the end of the tutorial, we make everything interactive and responsive. Let's see our result. This is our home, about, service, project boxes, and these are my first project, my second project, and my third project. If I try to click on it, nothing is not working. Now let's move to our styling, and before we style it, I will call the word link just to link our HTML with our CSS. Link at the top, in the head, in the href, style.css. Now we can begin by styling it. First, styling padding 0, margin be 0, margin will be 0. Next thing, body. First, I will set a dark background for the whole page and choose a clean readability for the font so that the text will be readable. Now the background, our background be dark gray, color be white. Now I will move to the nav which contains our UL, nav links, home, about, service, and the hamburger. Now I will style them. First, I will call display, flex, justify content, space around them so that they can move to each position, gap between them, gap between the lamp links and the hamburger. 0. Our lamp links, which are home, about, and services. Lamp links, display again, flex, justify content, space and gap between them, 30 pixel. So our list, our lamp links list, our lamp links, these are our lamp links, the list. Inside the list, don't forget we have anchor tag. So we have a lamp links list, list type. This helps to remove the dots. None. So as you can see, now let's change to none. It removes it. It remains the home, about, and services. Let's continue the style. And again, we have anchor tag, our home, about, and service. So the text decoration to remove the line under them, the line under the home, about, and services. So by calling the text decoration none, it's gonna remove Text decoration none, which will remove. Now it's gone. Our color will be white. The font size 25 pixel. Over enough links and cut tab over color hamburger display now flex direction color. The hamburger will have menu span or free span with 25 pixel. The height 3 pixel. Background red margin 4 pixel. 0. And as you can see, in our hamburger, I use display as none for the hamburger. So initially, because on the large screen, which is desktop, we want to show the full menu, which are the home, about, and services. So not the hamburger icon. Later in a media query for smaller screens, so we change it to display block. So the hamburger appears where the menu is hiding. This keep the layout clean and responsive. I also use flex direction column when the menu is hiding on the small screens because these links should stack vertically instead of staying horizontal. So this makes the menu easy to read and click on the mobile device. And each span represents one line of the hamburger icon. I set a width and height to control the size of the lines and background color to make them visible. The margin has space between the lines so it looks like a classic hamburger menu. So by using the free stack spans, we get the familiar nice icon that users recognize as a menu button. Briefly, let me show you what I mean. As you can see, the hamburger is hiding on desktop screen here. So we only have the nav links, which are the home, about, and services. So on the smaller screen, the nav collapses and we are left with the hamburger. This is the first line at the top in the middle. Each of them represents span, one span, one span, one span. So when I click on it, it brings now, it shows the home, about, and services. Yes, so let's continue. Margin top 30 pixel. My font size 30 pixel. Text align to center. The color of the H2 which is project box. The text is higher. Project box, display, display, grid, grid templates column, one for one for one for margin, the text pixel, box shadow 0, 10 pixel, RGB 0, 0, 0, 0.6. Padding 40 pixel, background transparent, transition of reverse, height, native import height. We see the result 1, 2, 3. Project box, box. Let's continue. Now, each project, by calling the word projects with 200 pixel, height 100 pixel, padding 10 pixel, 25 pixel, background dark blue, color white, cursor, pointer, border 3 pixel, font size 16 pixel, transition 0.6. This is book shadow 0.2x. Yes. Now let me start right structure. This button is add a class called project. Let's copy this. Now let's see our results. Now we have grid, vertical. Now let's continue. This grid here is grid template columns. So it will change one FR, one FR, one FR, so that they can stay beside each other. Now you have one project here, project here, project here, staying beside each other. One thing to notice, we have a vertical line at the bottom size. Now Let's fix it. So in our box shadow, have another 0. No, can we see we have a glass morphism. Next thing, we want to see project over background hash 374151 7. That is gray color. Now it's changing over the work of the over change it to gray. Now let's continue. So now I'm going to use a media query to make the navigation responsive for smaller screen. And this is how we do the responsiveness. We call the word media max width 768 pixel. Our nav links. In our nav links, we have home, about, and services. So we call them nav links. Display. You want to hide them, so it won't display on the smaller screen, but on a desktop screen, it's gonna display. We call none. And our hamburger is going to be displayed on the smaller screen. Hamburger, the 3 lines, display flex. Our project box. Also will display flex, flex, direction, column, gap, 50 pixel. So in this media query, I'm targeting screens that are 768 pixels and below, which is typically mobile view. So I set the nav links to display none, so they disappear on smaller screens, and I change the layer to flex direction column, so when they appear they stack vertically. Then I set the hamburger to display block, so it becomes visible on small screens like phone. Now that our layout is responsive, the next step is to control how the menu appears when we click the hamburger menu. And now we are moving to our JavaScript gradually. Let me comment this out. CSS, let me call it CSS for JavaScript. Now, what are the things we need? That is our .nav links .active. What are our nav links? Our nav links, you can see home, about, and services. So in this type, I will call display flex. So before writing JavaScript, we first define what should happen in CSS. So here, when the active class is added to the nav links, the menu becomes visible by changing to display to flex. Now, project rotate, transform, rotate 360 degree, rotate 360 degree. Now We do the same thing for the project boxes. So when the rotate class is added, the box will rotate 360 degree with the help of the work transform rotate 360 degree. Now we can now start with our JavaScript. But before we start with JavaScript, we first link HTML with JavaScript. So at the bottom side, we call script. So I have our source. Inside the source, we have our script.js. Now that we've linked our HTML with our CSS, now we can now work on the JavaScript. Firstly, I will declare my variable const nav equal to document.query selector. Then another variable called const hamburger document.query selector hamburger hamburger. Let's add inventories now. I have class list. Let's double. Now let me explain this. First, I select the nav links, which are the home, about, and services using document.query selector. So I can control it in JavaScript. Const nav document query selector. And the second line, then I select the hamburger button so I can detect when it's clicked. The add event list now. I add event list now to the hamburger. So this listens for a click event. So the toggle, when the hamburger is clicked, I toggle the active class on the left links. So this means if the class is not there, it adds it, and if it is already there, it removes it. That's make that's what makes the menu open and close. So with the help of the toggle. So without this toggle, it won't work. And as you can see, you have toggle active. And the active, you have the active, we call the active from the CSS. So in the active, you have display flex to display so that it can show. The result is this. Now this is it. Let's try to resize into smaller sizes. This is it. And this is smaller size. We can see our hamburger. Let me try to click it. Now it shows the home, about, and service. This is the work of the toggle. So without the toggle, it won't work. Now let's start by making the project box rotate when clicked. As you can see, it can't rotate. It's not rotating yet. It's not rotating. The three boxes is not rotating. Now let's make it more interactive. So when we click on it, it will rotate. So with the help of our JavaScript, we can achieve this. I will declare the variable const boxes. Okay, button documents dot query selector hub dot project our class name. So this boxes dot for each box inside it. Box dot add event listener. Listening to the click. When I click, click. So when I click, what do you want it to do? So when I click, box dot class list dot add rotate to add rotate from the CSS. Set the timeout to return back to its position. Box dot class list should remove the rotate. Now I want to set the timeout 7 seconds. So first, I select all the project boxes using query selector all and store them in a variable called boxes. So for each loop, since there are multiple boxes in our structure, we have multiple boxes, project 1, project 2. So those are the boxes. So the for each loop through each one of. So I can apply the same functionality to all of them. And the event listener, when the box is clicked, so I add the rotate box. So whenever the box is clicked, the box will rotate. This trigger the CSS animation from the word rotate 360 degree. So it trigger the CSS animation, the css.project.rotate. And the set timeout, which is here. So then I use the set timeout to remove the class at 700 milliseconds. So when you click on the button on the button, which is the boxes, so it will return back to its position with the help of 700. The set timeout, that is the time to return back to its position. So this reacts the animation. We set the animation so it can run again the next time the box is lit. So that is for the projects and for the navbar. Now next thing, let's see the results. Now this is the normal desktop size. Yes, can you see? On smaller screen, the navigation collapses. So into the what? Into the hamburger menu. This is the hamburger menu. The red lines, the red three lines is the hamburger menu. I click on it, it shows the navs again. I click on it, it removes with the help of the toggle in JavaScript. So again, this is our button, our boxes, the project boxes, my first project. Can you see it also rotates? So it rotates back to its position with the help of the set timeout. I click on the second, it rotates again. The third also rotates. So with the help of the set timeout, it rotates back to its previous position. So we use CSS to define the design and JavaScript to control when those events happen. And that's it. You've learned how to build a responsive hamburger menu and rotating projects using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Code with Emma, for more web development tutorials. Let me know in the comment section what you would like me to teach next. So, thanks for watching.